My name's McQuade. I'm co-founder of a company called Think Cloud. We're a cybersecurity and managed IT services company. But what I'm here to sort of talk to you today about is the power of technology. And I've been real fortunate. So has anyone, quick hands up, has anyone seen me speak on some of the events this year for the PFS to a couple of people? The message is still the same. Unfortunately, we've got no marshmallows to play with this time, which was quite fun. I've got less time. But I just want to talk about the impact that technology can have. And if you listen to Jason speaking earlier, we're changing, aren't we? We're changing from a commodity service into intelligent services. And you guys in the room, we are the intelligent services. But I want to show you how technology can really allow you to do things that I don't think is humanly possible. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've done where I've been really successful. If it hadn't been for technology, I don't think any of it would have been possible. So one of the stories I want to talk about is a charity that I've just recently resigned from. I've been 7 years with a charity called Andy's Man Club. Anyone in the room heard of Andy's Man Club? A couple of people. And it's been really pivotal, is Andy's Man Club. And I got involved in it to drive change. It is a quick sort of story about what great technology can do.
Andy's Man Club.
Andy's Man Club. Andy's Man Club.
Andy's Man Club.
Third, inspirational.
Simple the best.
Epic.
Life changing. Inspirational.
Life. Provable.
Successful.
Iconic.
Saved life.
Life-changing.
Andy's Man Club to me is inspirational, and I'd say it's a brotherhood.
Andy's Man Club home saved my life. It's okay to talk.
And what I'm really proud of with Andy's Man Club, and there's some people who know the original journey who are in the room, when I first got involved in it, I got involved in it to give it technology. And I wanted to give it technology so it could have more impact. Because I don't think there's a bigger stat than, tragically, 1 man every 2 hours tragically takes their own life in the UK. And no one talks about it. It's a huge, huge, huge problem. But when I originally got involved, unfortunately, there wasn't a registered charity. I couldn't, because I didn't have a charity number, I couldn't give them the technology for free. And my lovely wife, who was in the room, I remember ringing her, saying, I can't help him. And they wanted me to open a club up in Hull. In Hull, where I'm from, although it's 1 man every 2 hours nationally, in Hull it was 40% higher than the national average. I remember driving back and saying, I can't open a club, I ain't got the time. And the wife, Zoe, said, it's not an option. If you go to help a charity, just because you don't fit into your schedule, you can't say no. And I said, well, what do you want me to do? She said, you're not welcome home if you don't do it. So Andy's Man Club Hull was born, and we went on to be really, really successful. I set up with a good friend of mine, Paul, who was my old rugby coach, tragically tried to take his own life, but luckily he didn't succeed. And we went on to grow from strength to strength to strength. And doing these series of talks to the PFS, I've done 5, I think now, this is the 6th one. It got me to thinking. I've just recently come back from Turkey this week, having to sell my dad's apartment. And I think what's really important is, I can't remember the exact stat, but there's not many people who have had financial information. It's really limited. And I look at my dad, if he'd have had better knowledge and better information, we're just having to go through the mess of having to transfer his property. He didn't have a will, didn't have a trust. And because we didn't have access to the right financial information, it's been really painful for us as a family to do that. So what I want to talk about today is artificial intelligence, and it's a digital wave that is coming faster than ever. And I'm going to try and do 3 things today. I'm going to talk about security. I'm hopefully going to educate you quite quick on that. But data is everything. And I want you to understand we're swimming in data. And the more data that we can have access to our systems and services, we can make it intelligent and we can do some amazing things. So first things first, I want everyone to stand up. Everyone stand up pretty please. I'm going to play a little game. I want you to stay standing if the next question, you agree with it. So are you on LinkedIn? So if you're on LinkedIn, stay standing. If you're not, sit down, so have a quick look around. Next one, have you Googled yourself or your business in the last 12 months? Look at you. How old are you? Interesting. Do you have an app-only bank, a Monzo, Starling, Charm, Atom, Bank or Revolut? You can have a normal bank as well. That's quite good since Jason was just in the room. Next, who secures all of the personal social media accounts with 2-factor FA? And be really honest. Be really, really honest. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Becky. Thank you. Shame on you lot. Next, who's bought some Bitcoin or some cryptocurrency? Brilliant. So just take a quick look around the room. We normally get between 3 and 10%. Everyone just give these a round of applause, pretty please. You can all sit down now, thank you. The reason I do that is I think my number one super skill is I'm curious. I'm just curious about life. I love to get up in the morning, I love to be alive. And I think what I want to really empower you guys to do, my only super skill is I'm digitally curious. I will buy products and services just to find out what the customer journey is. So I want you guys to start thinking about that within your tech adoption. And I want to talk about the Luddite movement. So who's actually heard of the word Luddites? Is anyone? Yeah, a few people. What I want you to think about is the Luddites. A lot of people think there was anti-technology. And the story goes, we had weavers and we brought the automatic loom in. And one child could replace with one automatic machine 5 weavers. And it was a real prestigious job, was a weaver. And the challenge with that is it became illegal because they started smashing up weaving machines and there's a big Luddite movement. And the theory goes that there was anti-technology, but I actually don't believe there was anti-technology. I believe they was scared of job change, job security, and we didn't have the social and economic norms that we have today. Who's heard of the term strung up? Anyone heard of the term strung up? What that was the horrendous mill masters would string a child up if it wasn't working. So you can just imagine, you know, I agree with all the likes, we shouldn't have come in and brought that change. And I'll just...
Which is already changing the world, a tech company called OpenAI, which brought you ChatGPT not too long ago. That company announced a new platform, a new AI platform called Sora. Sora allows you to key in text, type in some text, a prompt, and it can produce videos which are indistinguishable from what Hollywood can produce today and what smaller studios can produce. AI which can hold a conversation with you, can write an essay for you. AI which can take high school exams, advanced placement exams in the United States curriculum, and outperform many humans. At the time, April 2023, I'd expected the technology to take another 2 to 3 years. As it happened, it took place faster than I imagined. Within 10 months, OpenAI had announced the Sora platform to produce AI-generated video. So that's the world today. Technology disruption happening very quickly. New challenges everywhere. The unexpected, increasingly the norm. And so we can't hide from these changes. So we have to accept the world as it is, the way the world is going to be, and look after, support, empower, uplift our people. And this is why the new subsidy for Singaporeans aged 40 and above to pursue another full-time diploma in higher education.
Singapore's been one of the first governments to really push this, in that what they're saying is anyone who's 40 and above, the industries and careers that they currently are specialised in are not going to exist anymore. So they're allowing people 40 and above to go back and do a new degree and re-educate, re-skill. And I urge any business leader to go read the Future Job Reports. If you've not read it, I'll fast track you through it. But it's explaining new jobs that are coming, jobs that are going. But when you dig into that, top industries that require digital technology skills, and you'll see 2 and 3 financial services, you guys are there. You need to be adopting technology a lot faster. It's saying that you've got the biggest skills gap in that, which I find quite interesting given the events. And what I also found really interesting, because I'm dyslexic, I can spot patterns. So my super skill is spotting patterns. And these are the top skills that it's asking us to reskill. And you're going to hear me talk a lot about AI today. And the top 2 skills are analytical thinking and creative thinking. And what I think is amazing, AI can allow you to do both of them really freely. But you go look at the key skills. It's saying resilience, flexibility, agility, motivation, self-awareness, curiosity and lifelong learning, technology literacy, dependability and attention to detail, empathy, leadership and social influence, and quality control and system thinking. They're your top ones. There's a talk later this afternoon with Steve and Becky at 3 o'clock. They will teach you everything around resilience, motivation, curiosity, leadership and social influence, because that is the new currency of the world today. And what I want to show you with AI, what you're able to do is you're able to do things at a speed that are just not possible. And don't be scared of it, because it's coming. And I think when you align this, what I think it's going to allow you to do when you look at the history of this is, it was only 8,000 years ago we started farming. And farming revolution took us into towns, into cities, out of our tribes. It was only the Industrial Revolution 120 years ago, so just like a little gnat. You know, we haven't even been around that long. Light bulb 90 years ago, World Wide Web only 22 years ago, human genome sequenced 9 years ago. And when you look at the way this wave is pushing, we're saying that by 2023, a mobile phone has got more intelligence than one human brain. And we're saying by 2045, it'll surpass all of human brains. Now, what I find quite interesting is, I don't know about you, but who Googles everything? Who in the room Googles everything? I Google everything. I've been using technology for years. Anyone in the room old enough to remember things like drag and dictate? Anyone in the room remember drag and dictate? Yeah. The reason I use a Mac is because I can't spell and I can't write. And sometimes I can't read. I use a Mac because it can read to me. I used to use drag and dictate, and I used to be the guy who was so embarrassed, speaking into my computer. That is the norm now. Who in the room has used ChatGPT? Quick hands up. Quick hands up. Yeah. If you look at ChatGPT, there's not been a technology on the planet that has had this much adoption. I think it's spread to over 100 million users in only 2 months. And who's got a Netflix account in the room? That took 10 years. Took 9 months. We've not seen a technology on the planet run this quickly. Now, what I want to talk about is, anyone in the room head of prompt engineering? Quick sort of show of hands, a couple of people. Anyone in the room, because we've got some financial people in here, who are the wizards who can use Excel in the room? Hands up if you can use Excel. Who are the Jedis who can do pivot tables? Where are you? There must be a few. Yeah. I think what's interesting is, the one thing that I can do is I can prompt engineer. I've learned and studied the art of prompt engineering. I get asked all the time, what jobs would I be teaching my kids? Which prompt engineering. It's using natural language to create prompts. And like in leadership, the best leaders are the ones who ask the best questions. The best prompt engineers are the ones who ask the best questions. And I always like to track what Google and Microsoft are doing for job adverts. And here's one for Anthropic, which is a large language model owned by Google. And it says, it's a hybrid between programming, instructing and teaching. You will figure out the best methods for prompting our AI to accomplish a wide range of tasks, then document these tasks to build up a library of tools and a set of tutorials. Given that the field of prompt engineering is arguably less than 2 years old, this position is a little bit hard to hire for. And ultimately it says you just have to demonstrate your prompt engineering skills by spending some time experimenting with Claude or ChatGPT-3. And then you go on to look at these roles. These roles are starting at 135k to 265k. I can't impress upon you enough that you need to be understanding prompt engineering, but something else you need to understand. So artificial intelligence, like all of the computers, they're only as intelligent as the person operating it. I could give you a rocket ship right now and you won't be able to fly it. But a lot of people don't understand, if we truly want to have enhanced intelligence, we've got to understand the other intelligences. I'll try and list this off. Artificial intelligence needs to have natural intelligence, spatial intelligence, conscious intelligence, mathematical intelligence, kinesthetic intelligence, music intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, naturalistic intelligence, existential intelligence, and linguistic intelligence. I think what's really powerful, we need to get back in front of our customers and our clients. So kinesthetic intelligence is going to be one of the most important ones, getting in front of people, building rapport with people. Artificial intelligence ain't going to do what we're doing now, interact with each other. It's just going to enable us to do things quicker and faster that probably was boring or weren't even good at in the first place. But what I want to show you, I put together a program on ChatGPT for our clients, and I did it about a month after it's come out, and I'm going to show you a little bit of history just so you can see the progression of this technology. And because every time I build a course, I always like to ask my mother who's 70 and my 11-year-old daughter at the time, what would be cool? Because if an 11-year-old can understand it and my mother can understand it, anybody can understand it. And I said, what would be cool? What would be cool for me to build a course? And my daughter said, wouldn't it be cool if you could make yourself a Disney character? And I thought, that is pretty cool. What if you could transform yourself into a Disney character? It's got more hair. Make content creation more enjoyable, even easier perhaps. This Disney version of me looks pretty good, don't you think? Anyway, enough about me. Let's focus on you. It's time for me to walk you through this magical process. Let's dive in. First, head over to Mid-Journey and upload a bright, clear photo of yourself. I simply found a photo of myself I had on my Mac whilst filming this video, or you could simply snap a selfie. Don't forget to put on a big smile for the camera. Okay, now take that picture and drag it into the chat box and hit enter. Next, type /imagine into the chat box and hit enter. Now copy the link from the photo and paste it into the prompt box. Describe every detail about yourself, your face, your hair, the lighting and the background. Finally, at the end of the prompt, type in the style of a Disney Pixar character. And there you have it. It's as simple as that. Okay, so we've created a Disney Pixar style version of ourselves that we love and saved it. Our next step, record your voice using your phone's voice memo app and speak from the heart. And now for the final, most magical step, where your Disney Pixar character comes to life. We're going to use DID Studio to animate your Disney Pixar self. Simply upload your image and voice recording, and there you are, a Disney version of you. So now you're not just you, you're a Disney-fied, AI-powered content producing machine. So, pretty impressive, but that's over 2 years old. And all that was done with a simple prompt. Simple prompt, knowing the right questions to ask, and you can create some of that, whereas years ago that would cost a fortune to do. Impossible. But I also want to try and impress upon you. So ChatGPT is a large language model. There's multiple companies. You've got Gemini, you've got Microsoft using Copilot, which is built on ChatGPT. But just so you can understand, a bit like a car, you know, and you have the old Mondeo 2 litre or the BMW 3 Series. The size at the end is how powerful it is. So we've moved on to something called ChatGPT 4 at the moment. But just so you can understand, it's over 500 times more powerful than GPT-3, and it's trained on 175 billion parameters, whereas GPT-4 is 100 trillion. Now, you guys are better at investing than me, but I'm sure a few trillion is better than a few billion. So the power at what this is moving. For the national conference workshops we was doing, I got challenged to ask about personal duty, personal care, personal duty, innit? Consumer duty, look, I can't even remember it. And I got asked if I could do a talk on it. And I thought, wouldn't it be really cool if I could get an AI version of me to talk about it, because I had no idea. Hi, I'm Leon's AI-powered twin, and I'm the newest member of the ThinkCloud team. Leon has asked me, or I should say he's programmed me, to assist him with kicking off his talk today. If at any time he's lost you, put your hand up and ask him to slow down, as the real me can get a little excited when I'm talking tech. So buckle up, as we have a lot to get through. Leon tasked me with working out how you, as financial planners, can embrace artificial intelligence to better serve clients and meet consumer duty, the highest standard of consumer protection introduced by the FCA. In today's fast-paced, data-driven world, AI is an indispensable tool for understanding client needs and delivering tailored, high-quality support and advice at scale. From my extensive research, I believe there are 3 key areas where AI can have the greatest impact on financial planners. First is client segmentation. By leveraging machine learning, we can analyse vast amounts of client data to identify distinct segments based on shared characteristics, needs, goals, and preferences. This enables us to create targeted service propositions and match clients with the most suitable products and advice. Second is predictive outcomes with real-time, continuous monitoring. Natural language processing and predictive analytics can help us spot potential issues early, such as common complaints, product mismatches, or disengagement. We can proactively intervene, adapt our offerings, and demonstrate we're delivering good outcomes. Finally, AI-powered chatbots and virtual assistants like me are transforming client support as we are omnipresent. Unlike Leon, I don't have to sleep. I'm on hand 24/7 across multiple channels, handling routine queries, providing personalised information, and seamlessly escalating to the real me when needed. So just to look at that, so when I first started this at the start, I think the first talk was in June, something like that to render would take about a week to render. And just playing with tech yesterday, we was able to move a bot live onto the website, and I'll just show you this. You could use multiple languages. Hi, I'm Leon McQuade, co-founder of ThinkCloud. Please can you tell me some services you offer? ThinkCloud offers a range of services, including outsourced cybersecurity, IT support, managed cloud services, and cybersecurity awareness training through our Cloud Academy. We focus on protecting your business from cyber threats while ensuring efficient IT operations to support your growth. So as you can see, this technology is rapidly evolving, and we start looking at how can we save time, how can we add value. We can build AI agents to handle a whole array of tasks. And I want you to start thinking about what does that mean for your business. So for example, that allows me to come here and spend time with you guys. It allows me to network. I've got a team of agents that are adding value, because what I want you to start understanding is we're at a point in time where we've got exponential thinking and it's changing so quick. But from an AI point of view, and I want you to really take point on this, we're on what we call the jagged frontier. And what I mean by that is we don't fully know how AI works. And it's quite scary when you go down a rabbit hole. A bit like, anyone gone down a rabbit hole with quantum physics? When we start paying attention on what the AI is doing, we don't fully know. And what I mean by that is, at the moment, we've got tasks, what we class as inside the frontier. So it's really good at certain tasks. But I don't know if you've heard about AI having bias and some really big challenges it has out there. And there's different models that are good for different things, right? But when you go look at how AI was invented, and just watch this quick video. So we don't know how it works, and it's getting stronger and stronger. And this video was done about 2 years ago. So the point he made was it was learned on 100 billion parameters. We just mentioned it's trillions now. So I think it's it's definitely far smarter than me. But what we need to start thinking about these uneven capabilities is it's really good at data analysis, pattern recognition, but it's not very good at emotional intelligence or ethical decision making. And the reason for that is there's a great game, and you've all heard of AI having biases, right? But what you need to fundamentally understand is, if I was to get £10 out, I'm from Hull, so I am doing this live, I keep losing money with this. But if I was to get £10 out and 2 people up on stage, and I said, right, one of you is going to be the proposer and one of you is the responder, and you need to negotiate on what you're going to do with my £10, right? Every time I've done it in Hull, they just put it in the pocket and walk off. In London, they say they might want to donate it somewhere because it's all good. So it's just interesting. But when you look at AI, if I offer you £5 out of £10, I accept. But when you start looking at this and looking at the data, if I offer you £3, I don't accept. When you put a prompt into an AI, it doesn't have the chance to come back off. It's trained on a load of data. And fundamentally, what's really interesting, when you look at humans, we're only actually fair and logic 40% of the time. It's not very high. But interestingly, 40% of the time is enough to be able to get into a negotiation where most of the time we can get to 50-50 and we can do what's fair. So fundamentally, humans aren't fair. And we've got this AI that we're building that isn't fair. And when we look at the other models, so GPT 3.5, that was 70% over generous. We've now got GPT, which is more closely to humans. And I think it presents a massive challenge from an ethical point of view. And I think what's really interesting where I want to go with this is I want to talk about trust. And I'm just running a little bit short on time. But what's really interesting, earlier I asked you all to stand up. I asked you all to interact with me, and you all did it without question. And the reason you all did it without question is fundamentally in our design, we're designed to collaborate. And that's how we've survived so long. But what I want to start you to think about is we need to use AI and collaborate with it. We need to use it, I think, as a blended effort, like a balanced approach. We can't just have it out there doing things. We still need humans interacting with it. Dan Williams, who's on the board of the PFS, we used AI to actually run a dummy planning session. He recorded the full meeting. He put together, all of the data. But once it's got amazing data, it can enable you to do things a lot faster. I urge you looking at tools like Otter. At the end of the presentation, I'll give you a link where you can download my sort of top tips, like a playbook for you. But it can really allow you to focus on the client. So when me and Dan did this, he was able to add loads of value to me. He wasn't filling a form in, but the rich data he got was amazing. He was able to write follow-up emails, interact with it. And when we talk about that bias, all of a sudden we've got real accurate data that we're using in these systems. And where I want to start closing up and start finishing off my talk is I want to start thinking about how businesses, and I think businesses are really simple. We either get work, do the work, and train people how to do the work. And there's a bit above and below. Your leadership strategy and culture. We're all digital businesses. We have to be thinking digitally. But like you all trusted me to stand up earlier, we also have to think about security as well. So if you're one of them people who stood up earlier who doesn't even secure your personal social medias with two-factor, don't even use AI, and be really careful what you're putting in there. Because ultimately, what I want you to start thinking about is AI is like your rocket ship, right? And it can take you to whole new worlds, whole new planets, whole new galaxies. But what you've got to be thinking about is data is the rocket fuel. And we've done tons and tons of cyber risk assessments. And every time, people don't know where the data is. They don't know where their intellectual property is. And the team don't protect the data. So you've got to really take it really serious. And what I want to sort of leave you is it was 5 laws on security. So law 1, if there's a vulnerability, it will be exploited. Everything is vulnerable in some ways. Humans trust even when we shouldn't. So like I got you to stand up and interact with me, the way cyber attackers are using this data and this AI, they're using your own trust and your own innate nature to get you to comply. And with innovation becomes a massive explosion and opportunity for vulnerabilities. And if in doubt, go back to law 1. But where I want to sort of finish in my Luddite story, there's a term called neo-Luddites. And neo-Luddites are a sort of modern philosophy that fears inevitable change brought on about by technology. But for me, what I think we need to be doing is we need to be worried about displacement and economic inequality and ethical concerns. But what we need to be doing is embrace change. You know, you've heard us talk about it all today. Really embrace change. Prioritise zero trust. Don't trust anybody. Make sure you've got multi-factor, two-factor on all of your accounts. But make sure you've got curiosity and lifelong learning, because the way I've just showed you, everything I've built on there is just from my lifelong learning. None of it was difficult, and stay vigilant. And my main sort of point I want to finish on is how prepared are you? So what I've put together, if you're interested, you can connect me on LinkedIn and just message me, AI Playbook. I've put together a series of resources and I've got an AI course. Everything you've just seen me do, every tool we've used, every prompt, it's all available for you. Message me on LinkedIn, AI Playbook, I'll send you a free code to it and you can learn how to use AI yourselves. So that's it, I'm a minute over. So if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, my email address is on there, and thank you for listening. Thank you.